Welcome back. In this video we're going to fulfill our company settings, and I will also show you two more tools which are relevant for our daily business as an admin. First of all, let's go to the setup and go to our company settings. We already talked about the company information, highly important for you. You find here the overview of your licenses, and as I said, really important, your org ID, if you have any problems, and of course all your company settings regarding local and language and so on. You see here we have several other options once we go to our company settings. Let's first talk about our business hours. Business hours are very, very relevant when it comes to service settings. So let's assume you have support level agreement with a customer, and there is a response time for about 4 hours, for example. And therefore it's quite important to put in the business hours for the relevant team. You see here we have a gold team in Europe, we have a silver team in Europe, and both for US. So our gold team works from 9 till 9, and our silver team just works from our silver team just works from 9 to 5, and in both regions, of course. Therefore, it's quite important to have here the business hours. Let's assume a customer submits a case for our gold service team in Europe on Monday at, let's say, 8:45 or something. Then of course it's okay for our service team to just respond the next day because it's out of our business hours. If he, let's say, submits the case at 1 o'clock p.m., then of course it wants to have a response in between the next 4 hours. To set up business hours, just click on New, check your time zones, and make available from on which day, from which o'clock to which o'clock you're available. And this business hours then can get assigned to the cases. Our next option here in our company settings is our fiscal year. You can use your the standard fiscal year, just from January to the end of December, or you can also use a custom fiscal year. Custom fiscal year, for example, let's say your fiscal year starts at the beginning of February and it ends at the beginning of January next year. Then you can use this custom fiscal year. What's important here? Once you enable it, you can't get back. And then even if you want to switch to, let's say, a standard fiscal year, it's a bit hard to do that. You can go here and click in your developer sandbox on this link and view everything about changing from standard to custom fiscal years. As I said, I won't do this here in this org. And if you're really interested in this, and I would also suggest you to do it before you do the exam, just read through this article. The next option here is to create our holidays. Once again, for our service team, you see here I have one for Christmas. Let's create a new one also for, let's say, Christmas Eve. And this is on the 24th of December, and we have their vacation the whole day because we're lazy. And this holiday is a recurring holiday. So it's yearly, always on the 24th of December. We start with it this year. We want to have no end date because we hope Christmas will stay a bit longer. And now you see we have our new holiday, Christmas Eve, created. The next setting here are language settings. You see here I've selected a few here for my organization. You will see it once we will come to our case study. And you see all these languages here. For example, Spanish, no problem to add. I can also then remove it. All these languages you hear are fully supported languages, which means once you change it from English to German, for example, your whole user interface, your whole front end, and your whole setup and help text will get translated into German. You have here also the possibility to enable end user languages, which means, for example, Hungarian, Polish, or Czech. Once you enable this in these languages, your whole front end will get translated, but your whole backend stays in English, like the whole setup and the help text. And then we have platform-only languages. Platform-only languages, there is a possibility that some of these fields are already translated, but in most of the cases you have to do the whole translation in the translation workbench. We will do this later in this course. And to be honest, I think it's easier to teach your sales reps English than translate the whole system into such a language. And the next thing is here, we can manage currencies. You see here, I have advanced currency management enabled and parenthetical currency conversion. We talked about this in our previous video. If you have your preferred language as a user and you create an opportunity in a different language, it's also there in your preferred language. Now, what's advanced currency management? If you enable advanced currency management, you can manage dated exchange range, which means you can define a time period for a specific exchange rate. Which means, let's say you can have for Q1 for this year one exchange rate, for Q2 another one, and once you close an opportunity in the first quarter, then you have the exchange rate there, and once you close it in the second quarter, you will have the other exchange rate. We can now go here and say manage dated exchange rates, and you see here we have Swiss franc, euro, US dollar. And let's say once I click on one of these currencies, you see here we have now from the 12th of October and before, we have this exchange rate. From the 13th till the 25th, we have this exchange rate still the same. And for the 26th and after, we'll have a new exchange rate. So let's go back. And let's say we want to create a new exchange rate and say for the 1st of December and so on, we want to have an exchange rate from Swiss francs and US dollar and euro are really close together. So we have like this exchange rate. And of course, it makes much more sense to do it afterwards, after you know it, but just to show you. And now you see here, I have the next range is now from the 13th to 25. Then you see the next range is now from 26 only to the 30th of November, because we have a new one then from the 1st December on. And you see now here, we have also this completely new one then from the beginning of December. And if you want to delete one of these, you have to go to every currency and delete it for every currency. Let's go back. The last thing we can do here is to edit your own domain. You see here now, I have my ForceFox dev domain here. If you want to change it, let's say I want to have it like force test now, I can type it in here and check availability. And now it says it's available. Once I click on save now, I will change my domain to this one here. And you will get, after a few minutes, an email with a confirmation from Salesforce itself. Okay, that's about our company settings. And as I said, what's really important for you is your company information here. Then there you can see like all your licenses. There are two more tools that are highly important for you in your daily business as an admin. One is your setup audit trail. Let me refresh this here once. And now you see that's what I did here in the previous minutes. And you see here like every change, what's happening in your setup. It's highly important if you have perhaps more than one admin at a company, and you want to see who did what and who changed anything in the setup. Then you can go here to your setup audit trail and have a look at it. You can download here also the complete the audit trail for the previous 6 months. And as I said, it's basically everything what's happening in the setup. I will post you also a link under this video to have a really deeper look at this whole help page from setup itself, what gets all managed here or what's all visible here in the audit trail. And as I said, there is a second tool I want to show you, which is called storage usage. Also, just go to your setup and type in storage, and here it's called storage usage. And you see here on one view how many contacts, accounts, opportunities, leads are already in your system. You see here, from my example, we have 51 contacts in the system, 45 accounts, 44 opportunities to it, and you see it here. You have a limit and what is used. It's quite hard to exceed the data limit in Salesforce itself. Okay, in this dev org, it's not that hard, but if you're working with a Sales Cloud, but the file storage could be a problem for you. So really have a look at this, because once you store all your offers, etc., as files, over the time, it's quite possible that you exceed the limit. And let's say just a tip from my side is first try to clean your system up before you go and try to get more storage from Salesforce, because this can be really expensive. And that's it for our company settings. That's it for our tools. Keep in mind storage usage, setup audit trail, company information. Usually these are the three tools to go to first as an admin if there are any changes. So thanks for your attention and see you in the next video.